So our last video for this week is a short one. Next week we're going to get into really analyzing how equilibrium changes if we have a shift in one of the curves. So if there's a good year for growing corn and we get a big corn harvest, what do we expect to happen in equilibrium with prices and quantities in the corn market? That's what we'll be working on next week. This week I'm just going to give you a quick little video just reminding us how to draw these charts, because this is going to be important for this week's homework. This week what we're largely going to be doing is thinking about things that will shift a curve. So if we're talking about something like, I don't know, I used coffee as an example a lot because I'm always wanting to drink a sip of coffee. Let's think about dog training. So I've got my dog sitting behind me. Now, let's say there's a demand for dog training. So there's our demand curve. If dog training is a really cheap thing, people will do it a lot. If it's really expensive, not many people will do it. Now, let's say in the pandemic, people are able to spend more time training their own dogs. What is that going to do for the market for professional dog training? So that leads us to a question. Do we think professional dog training and training your dog yourself are substitutes or complements? So if this is professional dog training, pro dog training, if now people are able to spend more time training their own dog at home, if that's a substitute for professional dog training, we'll see this demand curve shift in. Now, if instead those two things are complements, if it's something where, you work with a dog trainer once every other week and they give you a bunch of homework to work on so that you can train your dog yourself at home, if they're complements and people are training their dog more at home, then we'll see the demand curve shift out. So if I give you an example like this, I need to tell you if they tend to be complements or substitutes. Or I will be giving you examples that are more clear-cut than this. Because this one is actually tricky. I don't know. It's an empirical question, right? Are professional dog training and home training complements or substitutes? A bit of both. I don't know which effect would dominate. If you're looking at haircuts at home versus professional haircuts, I'd be comfortable saying those ones are substitutes, right? You don't cut your hair at home and then go in to get it professionally done to have them clean it up for you. That's what you do if your kids cut their hair, which they're not supposed to, but that's not what people plan on doing. Instead, cutting your hair at home may be a substitute for being able to go in if, say, there's a lockdown and you're not allowed to go in. But those ones are not complements in the same way that something like dog training could be. But so that's how we're going to kind of think about it, is I give you some information, you draw a curve, draw a downward sloping demand curve if we're talking about a demand, how much people want of something, draw an upward sloping supply curve if we're thinking about people making stuff, and then think about how that change is going to shift things and if it'll go out or in. And that'll put us in good shape to next week be able to really get the power of these by putting the supply and demand curves together and looking at changes in equilibrium. Have a great weekend, you guys. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.